Now we've spent some time learning about acids and bases and practicing doing pH calculations and neutralizations. We're going to look at acids and bases and their effects on the environment. In particular, we're going to look at acids and the role that they play in our environment. So we have a few questions to answer. 1. Is normal rain acidic? So just rain in an unpolluted area would thus normally be acidic. 2. Is acid rain worse in some parts of the country? And 3. Is there a way to neutralize acid rain? So the answer to the first question is yes, rain is naturally acidic. And the reason is that our atmosphere is largely composed of carbon dioxide. When carbon dioxide dissolves in water, it produces carbonic acid. Carbonic acid is a weak acid, so it dissociates slightly, but it does dissociate to release hydronium ions. Carbonic acid dissociates slightly, and it leads to rain with a pH of around 5.3. But some places in the country we have pHs of rain that are much lower, as low as 4.3 or even less. And we have to think about where this extra acidity is coming from. It's not just from carbon dioxide in our atmosphere. I'm going to show you a figure of the United States. And what we see in this figure is the regions that are green have the pH of rain around 5.7 or 5.3. This is normal rain. The regions that are lighter, the yellow, and here when we get into orange, this is pHs that are lower than normal rain, and we call this acid rain. So if you look at this, this is roughly a third of the US. It's in the east and the northeast. We need to think about what we know about that region of the United States. So what do we know about the northeast? We know that this is a heavily populated region of our country. We've got cities like New York, Pittsburgh, Chicago, Philadelphia, Boston. We also know that this is a highly industrialized region. So this is where the steel industry thrived. This is now often called the Rust Belt with Cleveland and Pittsburgh. But there's a lot of industries that have developed in this region. So this extra acidity must be originating somewhere in this heavily industrialized part of the country. So this region of the country is heavily populated and highly industrialized. And we think that this may have something to do with why we have acid rain in that region of the country. Where is this extra acidity coming from? Think about what it means to be heavily populated. Now we have a lot of people, and people drive cars. We also have a lot of people with demands for electricity. In addition to that, we have these industries with high demands for electricity. And in the US, most of this electricity comes from coal-fired power plants. These two things are going to be the sources of where we're getting our extra acidity, how we're producing acid rain.